Some books just need time. They're too strange, too smart, or too far ahead of what readers are looking for when they first come out. Today, we're diving into 10 more science fiction, fantasy, and horror novels that fell flat when they debuted, only to rise up as some of the greatest the genres have ever seen. I'm Jim, and this is Fantasy for the Ages, the show that I do with my son Zach, where we talk about fantasy, science fiction, horror, and other nerdy things we enjoy. Today, another solo episode as I continue this series, diving into just some incredible novels from all three of those genres that really shaped our imaginations and made the genres what they are today. If you love exploring hidden gems, cult classics, and underappreciated masterpieces, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget that notification bell so you'll stay in the loop on more to come. And also, of course, thank you to our Patreon supporters. You help us keep this kind of stuff coming out. If you'd like to see what perks might be yours by becoming part of our Patreon community, look for the link down in the show notes. So, 10 more books that failed at first, but no one talks about failure anymore. Let's see what we got today and which ones you may have read. Number one is The Stars, My Destination. Alfred Bester is the author. This came out in 1956, sci-fi standalone novel. Abandoned in space, Gully Foyle transforms from a vengeful brute into a cosmic level agent of chaos and change. In a world where people can teleport at will, revenge still finds a way. Initially a commercial flop, later this was hailed as the great proto-cyberpunk novel and a massive influence on everyone from Gibson to Ellis. Second book today is House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski, 2000 novel. This is experimental horror and is a standalone novel. This comes across as a documentary about a house bigger on the inside than on the outside, which spirals into obsession, footnotes, and typographical madness. The reader becomes part of the labyrinth. Released by a small press, it gained traction through word of mouth, because originally nobody even knew it was there. It later achieved cult and academic status as a 21st century horror masterpiece. Number 3, Ridley Walker by Russell Hoban, 1980. Post-apocalyptic sci-fi and another standalone novel. This has been featured on my channel before as one of those books that a lot of people hate, yet I saw a lot of love in the comments for it. In a future England long after a nuclear war, a young boy narrates in a fractured dialect, which is part of what makes it hard to read sometimes, as he rediscovers mankind's mythic and scientific past. Critics praised it, but sales were weak due to that challenging language choice. Now it's considered one of the great modern speculative novels, if you can get through it. Number 4, The Princess Bride by William Goldman, 1973. A fantasy, romance, adventure, and a standalone novel. A tale of true love and high adventure unfolds with sword fights, giants, pirates, and a satirical narrator who knows it's all a story. Middling early sales, believe it or not, but this turned into enduring popularity after the 1987 film adaptation made it a multi-generational classic. Hey, hands up if you'd never heard of it before the movie. Number 5 today is The Shadow of the Torturer by Gene Wolfe, 1980 novel, book 1 of the Book of the New Sun quartet. This is science fantasy. Severian, a torturer exiled for showing mercy, how dare he, journeys through a dying world of fading suns and forgotten technology. Memory, language, and destiny weave a tapestry of myth. Not one of my favorite books because it is complex and demanding, and many people agreed at first. It sold very modestly, but it has since become one of the most critically revered SFF works of the 20th century, and there are hordes of rabid fans. They acknowledge you really don't get it until you reread it, but then they say it's amazing. Number 6 today is The Left Hand of Darkness by Ursula K. Le Guin, the 1969 science fiction novel and part of the Hainish cycle, though it's really a standalone entry. A human envoy must survive and build trust on a planet where the inhabitants have no fixed gender, forcing him to rethink identity and love. While critics lauded it, mainstream readers were very slow to catch on. But over time, it became a feminist and literary cornerstone of the genre. Number 7, The Man Who Was Thursday by G.K. Chesterton, going way back to 1908. This is a metaphysical thriller and weird fiction, a standalone novel. A poet joins a secret council of anarchists, only to discover that their leader may be divine or utterly mad. It's a surreal blend of espionage and theology. Initially, this book was just too strange to categorize. No one was ready for this. But the book now enjoys cult status among fantasy, philosophy, and mystery readers alike. Our eighth book for today is The House on the Borderland by William Hope Hodgson, 1908. Yeah, you might not even have heard of it. It's weird horror and a sci fi genre mashup and is a standalone. A recluse's diary describes the collapse of his home into cosmic voids, swine monsters, and apocalyptic visions. Time itself becomes a haunted force. This book was forgotten for decades, but it was revived by Lovecraft and later by Ballantyne's 1960s reprints as an early masterpiece of cosmic horror, and now it gets some of the love it deserves. Our ninth selection for today's list is Solaris by Stanislaw Lem, the 1961 philosophical sci fi novel, a standalone. And another one of these that some people just amazingly love and some can't stand, but it's got its fans. Scientists orbit an oceanic planet that may be a sentient being, forcing them to confront physical manifestations of their guilt and grief. It was poorly translated and underpromoted in English, but it grew in stature through films and academic rediscovery, and now it's actually seen as Lem's finest work. And our final book for today, another one I have featured on other episodes that some people have struggled with and some people love, The Vor by Brian Catling, 2012 weird fantasy novel, book one of the Vor trilogy. In an endless primeval forest, myth, art, and colonization intertwine across dreamlike threads of surreal wonder and terror. Small press obscurity really hurt its start, but over time, it has built up an ardent fan base, earning praise from Neil Gaiman and Alan Moore as a modern visionary work. And that's another 10. These stories remind us that creativity sometimes takes the long road to recognition. Which of these have you read or avoided because you've heard that they're too weird, too slow, or too confusing? Maybe it's time to give them another shot because some people think they're gems. Join me next time for episode 3, where we will uncover the next 10 books that stumbled before they scored, including cult revivals, masterpieces rediscovered, and one of the greatest horror novels ever ignored. Until then, read boldly, stay curious, and never judge a book by its first sales report. We'll talk to you next time.